Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ejima.
It's not live on my end.
It's not,
Mm-mm. I can press it.
because I see you in it.
Yeah, but you didn't press go live. I just
I did press go live.
okay, man. It's just saying scheduled. Okay, now I see it. 26 seconds. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing this Monday?
Hello, thank you all for joining on this wonderful Monday evening. I don't know why I'm smiling so much. It's better smiling than crying, right? But in today's live, we're going to be talking about a very interesting and I think very relatable topic. And that would be, I changed the name. Why is it still coming up as this name? Hi, Mia. Hi, Mia. How you doing? Nice to see you. And that topic would be making friends in a new city, or just making friends in adulthood in general. So I don't know. I changed the title. I don't know why it's still this title.
Did you change it to StreamYard or
I
YouTube?
changed it to YouTube.
Probably why.
Let me just change it here.
Hello everyone. Everyone is joining. Welcome to our live. We're just gonna give like a minute or so. But we wanted to do this topic. I noticed on social media for a lot of y'all who are big on YouTube, even just YouTube, I've noticed a lot of content on adult friendships. Getting older, like it's not easy. Specific, and this is specific to relocation, right? Because we talk about relocation. I'm in Houston, Texas. It's been a little over a year and a half, and then I just hit 3 years in Charlotte, North Carolina. And to be honest, one of the big things with moving that comes with it is forming community again, right? And it's something that I tell you, I have a friend and I was talking to her younger sister, and she was like, "Wait, like you moved from New Jersey? Like, I would never leave Houston." And some people feel like, "Oh, like that's so close-minded. That's so this." No, I understand why people wouldn't do it. Like if you have all your family somewhere, you have all your friends there, social life is buzzing. Like it's not easy starting all over again if you don't have to. You know what I mean? We talk about our experiences in our previous videos. If you haven't checked out our playlist, our Houston, Texas, and Charlotte, North Carolina playlist, we were both in New Jersey. Everyone was moving. It was post pandemic.
Really, you said everyone was moving? I wouldn't say
Like
that.
a lot of people were moving. Like at least in our circle of
Yeah,
like we're close with, falling out with some people. This pandemic period strained a lot of friendships, right? Because we talk about maintaining friendships is usually around some type of community, and everything was shut down. So I've noticed after like a year of the pandemic, like my friendships changed. The people I was close to, it just changed. So me leaving New Jersey in 2022 wasn't that big of a deal because a lot of my people had already left, including Nana had already been gone for a year, almost a year and a half. You know what I mean? So I don't. If I would have, I say it all the time. If I had like a group of friends that I was really close to in New Jersey, I may have not moved. I may have stayed there and just rode it out. Like it's not the worst place in the world. We don't pump gas. No
especially working from home. You don't have to be in the cold.
travel. When you want something new, just travel to a new city. You know what I mean? So like I definitely understand like the struggle of like making friends. And if you're in our live last week, what did we talk about last week? It wasn't mental health, that was the week before, but last week we talked about uh what was that topic on Tuesday? Why is it not coming to me? What did we talk about?
Last day we talked about Houston versus Charlotte.
Houston versus Charlotte. I talked about how I had my little event for Nena last Friday when she came to Houston that she can never live in and she's never moving to. And one of my cousins was there and she's been here like over 5 years. She's like, "Wait, you met all these people in Houston?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I've only been here like a year and a half. She was like, "Oh my gosh." And I didn't really think of it until after she made that comment because I do understand like it's not easy. I say it all the time. What I did, I can't do it again. Even if the man is involved, I don't know if I'll do it. We'll have to find some middle ground. Like I cannot imagine picking up where I am now and just starting all over again. But the only thing constant in life is change.
Mhm.
And you have to be a bit open-minded to new things. You have to be flexible. We're still young. We're not 60-year-old women. We're not even 40. We're not 50. You know what I mean? Even at that age, people are still experiencing change in life. So we really thought this topic would resonate with a lot of people, just talking about, adult friendships, especially pertaining to like moving to a new city. So Nana, let's start off. Let me ask you questions. We may have some callers in. I think we need to make this a little more accurate. And
Yeah, we do. I forget that people can call in on StreamYard.
so we get so busy talking that we forget. So we'll just give a little bit of an opener, ask a few questions, and we'll take some calls. Mia, you better call in. So, Nana, was your experience? I'll start with you because you've been in Charlotte 3 years now. How was your experience making friends and building community in Charlotte?
When I can say, like, just even you referencing the party you allegedly had for me in Houston, and I was like, wow, I'm actually really proud of Ngozi because Ngozi is not like as social as me, but in a way, I feel like she's even more social than me because what people feel me and her were talking about this in Houston is that I'm a very friendly, like I don't know how to explain. I can talk to people easily. I can engage with people, but that's different from forming real friendships, relationships, right? Like just having a bunch of acquaintances and saying, "Hey, what's up? Hi, bye." Like being a social butterfly, quote unquote. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have a lot of friends. And I think sometimes we get that confused. Like friendship is totally different than that. But I can say like my first year in Charlotte, and then it was really hard. I'm not even going to lie. Like when I look back to it, like literally sometimes I could just like cry because it
Living
was
in
just
Jersey like every few months.
because it was like back then I didn't know any better, right? Like I didn't know how do I explain it? So I moved August of 2020. So that was like in the thick of the pandemic. And then I moved and I wasn't even working. So I didn't work for like 3 months. So I was literally just home, like, it was fun, like exploring, vlogging, making videos, getting my life together. But low key, I think that a lot of times we're ashamed to admit loneliness. I feel like loneliness also
And
equates.
not just in the intimate partner sense,
Yeah,
not just
loneliness also correlates to vulnerability, right? So if you're scared of vulnerability and you're scared of like opening up in general, it's like saying you're lonely it makes you feel weak. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm just being honest. You know how we keep it real on these lives. Like, so I think sometimes you can be lonely, but you don't even want to accept that you're lonely.
like
You
I'm
know,
good. I don't need people. I'm okay.
I'm good. I know how to keep myself busy. You know how many things I got to do. Do you know how many errands I got to do? You know how many dishes? Like you just like tell yourself like, oh no, I'm fine. But after a while, it can start to get to you. And I would go out here and there, but obviously I'm not going out if I don't have people to necessarily go out with. And I feel like till I was 2020, and then I would say it was probably like a year. I started working December. I moved to August. So 4 months after, I started working, so I was around people. So that was okay for me. Like I'll go to work, have my coworkers, my patients, and I go home. But I still felt like a void because that's not enough, right? Like it's better than nothing. Definitely better than nothing. But okay, I leave my coworkers at 5 p.m. I come home in the evening I'm by myself. Okay, the weekends I'm by myself. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. Then I started gradually adding things in, like going to church. That was like hard because I got used to not going to church. So that helped a little bit. And um, ultimately, I made a friend. She DM'd me via Instagram, ended up being like my closest friend in Charlotte. So for people, I think that's a big thing. Is like you have to sometimes shoot your shot. And sometimes you really have to, like anything in life, like you just never know. So like, I always think back to like, okay, if she never messaged me on Instagram, like who would be my closest friend? Like, like who would I have? And like just meeting her opened me up to so many other people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like just meeting like one person, you meet people through them, then you meet other people through those people, you need to meet other people through those people. And then by the time I'm like, oh wow, Charlotte really isn't too bad. I met another lady that from doing my hair. I met her. She's cool. We used to go out here and there. So it's just being open to the fact that you can meet people anywhere. It doesn't have to be necessarily like, oh, and that's how it is as you get older, right? Because how else do you meet people? We don't go to school anymore, and coworkers to an extent. I believe coworkers could be friends, but it depends on your field, depends on the age group of the people you work with. It may not be ideal. So that was kind of my experience. I would say I experienced Charlotte for like almost probably like a year, not really having many friends, but it was easy because I would just travel. I would go back to New Jersey. I would have people come visit me because people are so excited. Like, oh, I want to come to Charlotte. When people would come, then, that's when Ngozi came like 5 out of her 8 times, probably. And then it'll be like, oh, people to hang out with. So I didn't really feel it that much, but I would be lying to say I didn't feel it at all. Like I still felt it, but I kind of got used to just being by myself. I got used to just, going to work, running errands, coming home.
So what did you use to make? Did you use and what? How else besides people reaching out to you? How did you go out your way to make friends?
And now I admit I wasn't really good at that. That's the thing I can say. I wasn't really doing my part either. Like a lot of people complain about friendships, but they're also not doing what they have to do to make friends. I was
Like a
very
true friendship.
you have to pursue it like you pursue like your job, like you pursue. Of course, in some instances, it can just happen. Like it just happened with a couple of people I met. So that was cool. But I was kind of guarded in a sense, I think, too. Maybe being in a new city, just trying to be careful. You don't want to get carried around, you don't want to get caught up with the wrong crowd. You don't want to get carried away with the wrong type of people. I just was just very, being almost too careful, almost extra careful. I can't suppose like, Nana, what are you doing? Like, you need to make friends. Like, I tried Bumble Friends. It did not really work for me. I don't think I made one real friend off of Bumble Friends. I met up with like a couple girls, never really worked for me. That's just my personal. I'm not saying it doesn't work for anyone else. Where else work? I'm still close to a couple of my coworkers. So coworkers at work was a decent place I met, but they were all much older than me. They weren't like young people my age. I'm gonna hang around with and go out with. So I can take responsibility that I was being very low effort and I was being kind of lazy and I didn't really go out of my way to pursue friendships. And when I look back, it was probably about a year and a half after living in Charlotte that I started to getting to know people and actually making friends. So that's a long time to be in the city, a year and a half. Or would I say about a yearish is when I would say I started really making friends.
Okay, I'll speak to mine briefly. Like I said, I've been in Houston like a little over a year and a half. And when I first moved here, I knew a few people. I know a few people, but I still, I was traveling a lot for work. I was traveling a lot in my personal life. But I did meet some friends on Facebook, and they're actually like a group of girls I'm still like close with. So I think, like I said, I was in Facebook groups. I'm not in them anymore. It was a lot of crying and complaining. I need friends. All these girls are fake. I need real friends. I need that. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So sometimes it could just be a lot, like this cry for friends. But I get it, right? Um, and then, just through common interests, activities, church is a big one. I say it all the time. Even talk about being in New Jersey, like church was like for us, it was such a big way, like in meeting people. And even now I'm still like experiencing it. Like, so I know some people don't go to church, people have their own personal reasons, but for believers, I do believe like getting involved in like community within your church, your youth group, like meeting people. I feel like that's always been like a really, really good way for me because church is something I do every week, right? So we talk about like having friends, meeting these friends and making them is one thing, which you have to maintain the friendships.
And see them and
So you have to make time to see them. So I always talk about making friends is like I it's so much easier to make friends around a common interest or a group, something that you're doing often. Like people say they meet friends like at the gym, you meet friends like in things that you're doing every week. So you don't have to necessarily, oh, let's go to brunch every week. Like it's expensive, 20% automatic tip.
girl yesterday.
Go to brunch with you every week. That's not in my budget. I can't, I'm not a big house person. I'll be honest, my personality, I don't really go to people's house. It's just more of like the way I was raised. I don't really feel comfortable that much. I do it here and there, but I'm not going to be close with someone based on going to their house. It's just a reality. So it's like I want to. For me, I've learned to really.
Is there a reason why you're not a house person?
I don't know. I don't like using public bathrooms, so I think that's a big factor too. So using people's bathrooms
Oh,
also.
because it's stop being extra. You're too grown for this.
I don't know. Like, let's say, and I think that, like two of my friends came over Saturday. We were at the pool. We were just chilling. Like, it's not always like go out, spend. Like, I trust me. I like to
I think it's about going to someone's house and doing something.
and doing something. Yeah, like I want
Cool.
to watching TV with you. Like, I'm not a child. I don't watch movies by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you're a movie person, that's fine. But like, I have to come to your house and be doing something. Like, you having something. Like, we having like I'm helping you do something. Like, we're cooking together. One of my cousins has a cooking friend. Like, that's cute. Like, you come to each other's house and we cooking. But just to come and just be chilling in your house, like, it's just like blah.
I miss the pool. I miss my pool.
Yeah, which the last week is in the 80s. Next week is dropping to the 50s. I'm so scared. So, I'm like, let's take advantage of this nice last week of like Houston heat or whatever. So I just feel as if, common interest group, I've noticed a lot of my friends were in the same field, the same profession. We met through like that. So like even stuff like that, like there's a common interest there. There's some type of commonality, maybe influencers. And then I talked about the one friend I reached out to. She's also on YouTube. So we may not be these major influencers. I was one day, baby steps day by day. But I was even watching one of like my influencers that I really like, and she talked about like a lot of the people she ends up being friends with, meeting friends, is other influencers, because either they reach out, they like, oh, I like your content, they like their content, they reach out, they have like that commonality about work, right? They're both in the same field, they can relate to each other. So I do think that making friends off of a common interest always helps. And just I think really being open. I talked about last week in I think in the video about how like some of my friends, like I legit bag them, like the way like a guy would pursue a woman, I pursue them. Like, after, hi, how are you? You look nice. What's your name? Like, people, it's not weird. You need something, right? So I don't. To me, it comes a point in like you have to put the pride aside. Like, you need something. You need friends. You want friends. You have to kind of be uncomfortable. Not, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but you kind of have to put yourself out there. Is a point I'm making. You need something. You have to be. Not everyone's gonna be as receptive as you want them to. Of course, that's life. But more people than you would even imagine are going to be very receptive and are looking for the same thing as well.
Right. I was
You
about to say that they're looking for the same thing.
Right. So it's like you can't really think like that. You can't have your mind. Oh, how about if you like me, if they reject me? Like, no, like, of course you do your own little scoping, same way a guy will observe a woman and look at stuff before he.
Right, right.
I'm not going to just go up to anyone if their vibe is off, if they seem like the energy is bad. Like, I'm not going to just go up to anybody like, "Hi, what's your name?" I'm in Guzzy. Like, but like, you need something. I need something. I'm assuming you want it too. So it's like there's no shame in my game.
Would you agree that you can tell if a girl is fake?
I think sometimes, yeah, vibe is like off, or like I don't think I would click with them. Maybe yeah, I think you can tell, like, to an extent, yeah. So I just think being open is a big thing, a part of it. Of course, you can't be everyone's friend. There's some people that may pursue friendship with you and you just feel like it's not a good fit, or not everyone you're going to be close with. There's difference between acquaintance, friend, close friend. Not everybody has to know all your life business, doesn't have to know everything you're going through. It could be just people just to do different stuff with, especially talk about moving to a new city, exploring. A lot of it you don't want to do by yourself. So you're meeting a lot of people who they're moving as well. Like, there's so many things like Nana mentioned. You may want to do it. And trust me, I go out by myself. I can go anywhere by myself. I've gone to the club by myself. I'm reiterating, I can go anywhere by myself, but it does get tiring. Like, you can't go everywhere. Not that you can't, but like,
Really?
you don't always want to go out by yourself. So, also making those friends can also be an opportunity to like explore your city, try new things. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to be open to it. So we just went in, just gave a little opener about our experience making friends in a new city as adults. But Mia asked, was it hard both of you to find friends that are around your age, no kids, careers, not in a relationship, etc.? I wonder why not in a relation. I mean, I can see why you put it not in a relationship, because I do think the dynamic, especially the kid part. I remember me and my sister talking about it before with one of my cousins. She's like, "Oh, that shouldn't be a criteria, quote unquote, for making friends." And it's not to say I wouldn't be friends with someone with a child, but I know that children change your life. So the way you can move in your lifestyle is going to be different. It's not to say I couldn't be friends with someone with a child, or I wouldn't be,
It would
but
shock you. Some girls with kids have more
yeah,
respect.
like it depends on their setup, right? It depends on their setup. It depends on how they move, right? It depends. Maybe the age of their kids, whether they're single with kids, or whether they're married with kids, or whether they have the help. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I think it's interesting how you bring up those factors, because I do think that some similarities just make more sense, right? Like, even on the Facebook group I talked about I was on, a lot of girls will say, "I'm looking for friends with kids." And
Right.
I understand why, because it's like when your child needs somewhere to go and their child needs somewhere, y'all can bring our kids together and hang out. You know what I mean? Like, you understand each other more. Like, I'm not gonna act like it's a different life. Like, I don't have kids, so I can't relate to you on that level. So I understand why someone would want to pursue for friendship with another woman who does have a child, because they already have that understanding.
Mhm.
So it does make sense. But yeah, how was it hard? No, I don't think it was hard. I think the hardest part is probably just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest part, but it's definitely not. There's a lot of people. We're in major cities. People are moving. To me, if you're moving out of your comfort zone, you got to be kind of open to making friends. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would you leave where you're comfortable from to go somewhere new and you don't want to make friends? Like, you about to, unless you're really on that loner tip, or you really about to just be in your house, or you got a man or something, because that's another one. As much as people don't want to admit, I was even there a little bit too, but mine wasn't too extreme. But a lot of women, once they're in a relationship, they get very comfortable in their relationship, and it kind of like distracts them from having to really go out and make friends.
I used to think that, but the older I get now, I think it's simply just a personality thing.
No, I
It's
think it's
nothing
both,
to
honey.
woman because I'm telling you, I know a lot of women relationships. They still, of course, they're gonna be with their man, but they still are always with friends. They're still so into friends. It even shocks me.
I'm
Like,
not arguing that. The point I make, I'm not saying that because you have a man, you're not going to want friends. What I'm saying is that if you take that same person and take away the man, they may even have more friends. That's the point I'm making. Is that it's still like you only have but so many hours in the day. You
mm,
only have but so much battery. You only have but so much energy. You can't take it all. You have to put some of it to your relationship. That's just a given, especially if it's new. Is that like someone you've been with like for 5, 10 years already, or you're
right.
someone you're already married to? So I do notice the trend. Even people I follow is that like they may want friends and they may desire it, but that desire is not as strong until they're not in a relationship. Because you really have that time now, and you're really just like, damn, like what do I do? Like you really have. It's not to say they didn't want the friends beforehand, but because you have that partnership and you have someone, it's easy just to get caught in that relationship. Like, well, like, I got my man, so because you could still you could basically do what this you could do what you do with your friends with a man. So it's like you don't feel as lonely. But if you take away that
What
man,
type of man? Some of these men is boring. They don't want to
if
do.
you take away that man, even
Yeah.
if you go in his house and be born with him, at least you with your man. But you take away that man from the equation, trust me, you be like, wow, like I really don't have friends. Like I need to go out and pursue friendship more. It's different.
Little Ernest said everyone is super nice in North Carolina. It's easy to meet new people in the South as opposed to up north. Little Ernest, you in North Carolina? I thought you're in Atlanta. Let's confirm. Lovely. I moved to Dallas from Chicago and it's been 3 years and I don't have any friends here. And when I do meet people, it never develops into a friendship. Okay, lovely. Let's talk about this because this is
Yeah.
really, I'm really happy. Thank you so much for sharing this because this is really, this is really personal that you moved from to Dallas from Chicago for 3 years. You don't have any friends. Wow.
Just because you meet people never develops. Do you think you know why? Like what stops it from going from that acquaintance to the friendship? Like do you feel like you're reaching out as much as you can? Are you planning stuff for you guys to do together? Are you hitting them up often and they're just not reciprocating it? I'm very interested because this is a thing, right? Some people are just struggle more with friendships than others for various reasons. You may just be meeting a bunch of the wrong people. It may not even be just you. It may just be like coincidence. You know what I mean? So like I'm interested in just seeing like how you go about these friendships and
And
what's
how are you meeting these people that you're trying to develop these friendships with? I would like to know. Mia said, Little and as my opinion, people are more fake in the South. They're definitely more friendly though, but up north, people are just straight to the
I
point.
can see them.
Now I'm thinking about moving back to Chicago or giving Houston a try.
Houston, lovely. Houston. Oh, you in Dallas, right? Maybe. Oh, you say you're in Dallas. Maybe that's the thing. You in Dallas, dry Dallas.
Dallas. You don't even know how many times have you been to Dallas?
Look,
Wow. I don't blame you for thinking about moving back to Chicago because if I was in the city, it's been 3 years and I don't have any friends, I might be a little hesitant to go somewhere else. I'm not
mhm.
even gonna lie because I'll be thinking like, oh, am I gonna go and have the same experience in the
Like,
next place I go to?
what's the next month? After stand it's
It's
Jan-
generally harder to make friends as you get older. I do feel like location matters.
next one.
It's true. Dallas is a family city.
Yep.
Not many famous people come to hang out here. There are not a lot of good food options here and everything is spread apart. Plus, it's not a diverse culture here. Okay, who was last week hyping Dallas? One of our new, I believe she
So
was.
lovely. I could say that literally that's what I was alluding to before. I got rudely interrupted. I couldn't see that because despite what people are saying, it's also we talk about building friendships. You're building a base of doing things together, exploring all that stuff. Not to say Dallas doesn't have that. Dallas is a huge city, top metro and area in America. But you mentioned it being none of things Houston is spread out. Like I keep saying, go to Dallas.
Dallas is worse.
Yes, they literally Fort Worth and Dallas are referred to as Dallas Fort Worth, but they're legit like one of the two largest metros like, in America and even in Texas. But they're referred to as one. Just showing you how massive it is. And you mentioned the demographic, more family oriented, not as diverse. Those things do matter. So it's like you're maybe a single, bubbly, African American trying to meet other like-minded African American people. Depending on where you are, it's definitely going to be harder. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think Dallas is one of the worst places. I wouldn't say like it's terrible, but I could definitely understand, like, when now that you're bringing all those things into context, why it may be harder than other places.
Mia said the older you get, especially as a female, I want to know why you think, especially as a female, it's hard to trust and let your guard down, past unpaced experiences. Why are we saying this is a female thing? You don't think this is a? I think men have this. I don't know where the men in this chat, Little Inez, you always hold it down for us. Why would you think trust is only a female issue? That's what I'm curious to know, because men go through a lot of things, and like I just recently realized within like the past year that men have drama too. I never knew. I thought men's friendships are so peaceful and they just are always kumbaya. My guy friends like, what, Nana? Like the competition in males' friendships can be crazy.
Girls, cars, money. We just competing about small, if that. You know what I mean? I feel like and I also think women are able to be more vulnerable with each other.
And I think that's, yeah.
That's the thing. One of my sisters says all the time, like, men don't have real friends. Like, their friendships are just very different. Like, you could call a woman and be like, oh,
I could like call some of my female friends and just start bust out crying.
yeah, talk about your menstrual cycle. You could talk about so many things. I feel like men can't. It's harder, I think, for men just to be vulnerable, period, especially with other men, particularly black men. Like, they can't just they don't talk about a lot of things.
All right, let's hear from the men, y'all. Luna Inez, I'd love to know what you think. Lovely said, I agree. Dallas Dandy, output matters also. Are you approachable? Dallas is much more diverse than where? Chicago?
Not Houston.
Hi, Anna. Finally caught you alive. Hey, Dallas Dandy. Nice to meet you. Lovely said, output matters, but if you in a city with people that want to focus on the people they already have in their lives, there's not much I can do.
That's a big
That's a part of getting old. And I think that's why, like, the thought of even moving again is like, wow, because I'm even older now, right? So I feel like the older you get, I believe in a way it gets harder because people have already formed their friend groups, they've formed their social groups, they're kind of stuck. It's not like it's impossible to meet people. I'm not saying that, but I feel like as you get older, people kind of have less room for new people in their lives.
I think that's why it's also important moving to a city that a lot of people are moving also. Because I think a lot of the friends I've met, they're also, I don't like the term transplants, but they're also people who move like literally within the same year, within months of each other. So they don't have that clique yet. You know what I mean? They don't have a group of people that always move. They're more open to like meeting people, like developing that clique per se. But if you're meeting a bunch of people who like they've been here their whole life and they have their best friends since second grade who they hang out with, all of them hang out every weekend, they're not letting you in that clique. And you don't even want to be in that clique because they're gonna have all their inside jokes. You're gonna be like, oh, what's going on? Like you're gonna be lost. So I do think that, like I said, moving to a place like Houston where people are always moving in, like legit, I probably have like one or two friends who are real Houstonians, like born and raised here. Everyone's a transplant within like the last 2 years. So I do think it changes things a bit because like I said, if you're moving to a new city, I would hope you're very open to making friends because I don't understand why you would go through all of that to be in your little corner and be in your little shell.
In comparison to larger cities, Dallas is not as diverse as others. In another 5 years, Dallas may be a lot better. True, just like Charlotte. You are so beautiful, Nana. You just don't know how much you take my breath away. Oh,
Dallas, Andy, show that breath with a super chat. That's how you show that with a super chat. Okay,
oh
we love
it's only
you.
Monday. Don't make me laugh.
People.
How about work? Create a circle from there and build from there. I think work, the tricky thing about work, it really depends your industry, right? I also have to remember a lot of people are fully remote right now. How are you making, like right now I'm fully remote. Well, I have a per diem, but my full-time job is fully remote. And I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes this is my third remote job. And everyone around me knows, they'd be like, Nana don't know what she wants. Because I'm like back and forth. One day I'm like, I'm tired of going to work 5 days a week. I'm so tired of it. I can't do this anymore. And then the next second I'm at home, like, what is life? What is life? Like it just feels, I don't know how, like, I feel like there's pros, and I always say my dream job would be a hybrid job where I go in like twice a week. I'm at home 2-3 times a week. But remote job, how do you meet people if everyone is remote? Like for me, I don't even have a home office. Like my home office is technically in Raleigh. Like people,
I haven't seen my colleagues all year, and I just got a message from one of my managers today that I got approved to go to a conference next week.
are you going?
It's a lot going on next week. Just getting y'all know, and November's our birthday month, so it's a big month. But I will, and I was like, and actually I was excited, like, oh my god, let me just get this ticket. Let me get the whole. Like, I'm trying to get the hotel block, see if someone has dropped it. But it's like on a normal, like if I was always going to work, like people would even be happy, like not to go to the conference because like I want time to myself. But it's like I'm working from home in a whole other state all year. Like this is the only time I'm going to get to see my colleagues
Mhm.
all year. It's gonna be November. Like legit, I don't see them. So like I don't mind flying out for like a couple of days and like going and seeing people because it's like that work that is important. That camaraderie, that in person, that team building, that seeing people face to face is very important.
So that's the point. Like when you mentioned about work, some people don't even have work as an option to make friends. And like the field that I'm in, whenever even I go into work, I'm always surrounded by much older people. Like the most, yeah, because I'm not in the hospital.
Some young girls with their scrubs on, get in that
I just
hospital.
said it was a word. I just even talk about that. But yeah, work can be a good place. Exactly. It's lovely. Lovely said I work from home and my job is headquartered in Houston. If I were to move to Houston, I would have a couple of friends. Look at it, Guzzy jumping up and
Yes, we're inviting you. All
I'm
our
telling you, remote. I know people hype remote work, but I think it's doing something to this epidemic of loneliness. And a lot of people that claim they even love it so much don't realize. Like even sometimes, like I'm talking to Guzzy, she's 100% remote too, and she'll be like, "Oh, I'm playing this lives in the background as background noise," and you might think that like, "Oh, I just want to. I love this
it's
YouTuber."
very quiet. You know what I
No,
mean? It's very
no, you lonely, okay? The walls are talking to you. Like you feeling it, but you just used to it. You're just used to that experience.
It's
But like
not that you don't know that there may be some cons, but the pros outweigh the cons. That's just the truth. Like literally, the pros outweigh the cons. Hands down, Houston, the traffic, driving to work,
I
like
can't even imagine.
like I have insomnia. I can't imagine the nights that I'm barely sleeping. I'd have to wake up in the real world and
It's
dress up.
just
Go
getting
to,
out during the week.
what?
The key is just getting out to different stuff during the. We'll
Yeah,
talk
and
about
I feel like that's the we'll get to that, but also too for remote workers, how you have to be more intentional about your social life outside of
that.
work.
Have to get out the house a couple of evenings, not even just the weekend, a couple of evenings during the week. Mia said it seems like when girls are in a fresh relationship, they more rather do something with their man versus being out the honeymoon stage. They're more open to hanging with their friends. That could be true. I agree to a degree. Dallas seems like everyone wants to be left alone, but from your workspaces, you can meet a few individuals who have same things in common with you. Lovey said, I would reach out, but a lot of women I met are in a relationship or mothers. I'm single with no kids. Oh, okay, I understand that. Lovely. Mia's asking, what type of females do you tend to hang around or want to hang with? That's true. You
Look
got to think
at
about
that.
that. You got to think about that too, like,
Mhm.
when you're trying to make friends. Like, what type of friends do you want?
It may sound very. We're not trying to say. How do I say this? We have to be politically correct. We're on. This is public domain. But me and her talk about this. We have a conversation about it. It's like I noticed getting older. I'm pickier about the type of friends I make, and it's not in terms of like, oh, like you have to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but I feel like there's certain things that I'll probably overlook as a younger person that right now are very important to me. We talk about you talk about male relationships and the jealousy and the competition, but a lot of times we think about it, sometimes those things come because people are not friends with people who they really should be friends with, just based off of like commonality, right? On your level. And we don't like those words, we're all God's children. There's no level in heaven. We understand. But like I mentioned, a big keyword I mentioned, a lot of my friends were in the same profession. And I noticed I even had one friend, she made a comment of, we were talking about when she had first moved, she had like an issue or something. And like just little things you may think are not that big of a deal, lifestyle is also a big thing, right? So like if you're right now, let's say you're friends with someone who maybe they don't really care for going out. Not every friend has to be a going out person. People are chill. People that could be your friend you just talk on the phone with, right? But
That's
we're in a new city. We're trying to get to we're trying to like explore, see new things. I want to be friends with people who are willing to like explore, they want to go out. Of course, people around my age. I was thinking about this honestly because I was out at a meeting yesterday, and this girl was very, very friendly. She had just moved from another state, and she had I believe she had a necklace of the year she was born. I believe it was 1997. So I was thinking, like, I follow some YouTubers who were born in 1997, right? But I'm thinking, like, could I be friends with someone who's like 5 years younger than
it's
me?
so pretty much. I was gonna ask you, do you have an age limit? Like, can
Listen,
you
listen,
friends with your
listen.
friends?
Because even I had a friend before, even a couple years, we were a couple years different, and I could see the difference, and it probably even had some challenges in our friendship. Because I do believe age is not everything, but it is important, right? There's a certain phase in your life you are. I'm not 25. Like at 25, I was thinking very different. My priorities were very different. What I wanted out of life was very different. My financial situation was extremely different. You know what I mean? So it was like,
We thank God for
thank
growth.
God, we thank God for growth. So it's like I think I could be cool with someone that's 25, but like I say, it depends, right? But I don't really see myself having a bipple who's like 5 years younger than me. Like I at least not now. Maybe for like
I
40.
was asking Justina this. I was like, "Oh, this girl, man, she's like just 24." I was like, "Can we really be friends?" She's like, "Why not?" And I thought I was like, "That's really young. That's like
Really young.
we could be like friends, and the friends like we go out and do stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like,
Like that type of friend.
like
I don't see why
yeah,
not.
but I feel like in terms of like men, like where we are in life, it's just very different. Like we said, if you're 40 and 45, that's different. Y'all both grown. Like it's not that big of a deal. But I know as a woman, particularly your 20s are so important. You grow. I could think from 20 to like 29, like my brain, like the capacity, like was crazy. Like you change so much as a woman. So like it's not to say I couldn't be friends with her, but it would be different.
Okay. Nihad. Hi guys. I just moved to Charlotte last week. Wish me luck on making friends. Haha. Also, if anyone is new in Charlotte area and is trying to link up, please let me know. I'm loving this live, ladies. Oh, hi, welcome to Charlotte. So if I was to like have like what would I call it? Like a Charlotte, what would I call it?
Agree.
Not meet and greet. That's too much. That's too fancy. Like if I had like an event for Charlotte people, like would y'all actually really come? Like would y'all really, really come? Like, oh, just moved to Charlotte. Like if you've been here 3, 5 years or less, or 4 years and less, like would you guys actually really come? I'm actually really curious. I feel like there's so many people that like want to link up and need that avenue to link up and like meet people and make friends. And when you go out, people say go out, go out. Like I've met one of my close friends in Charlotte on the streets, right? You could meet friends on the streets. Like, like it is what it is. But not everyone has that personality. And
Right.
also it's about like meeting these people on the streets multiple times, right? Like if you were going out a lot to places and you've seen a person over and over, that's also an example of what we said about having like a reoccurring.
Like you go to this bar every Tuesday. You go
Yeah,
to
you go to the place every Friday.
every Thursday. You go to
Right.
church every Sunday. You go to this thing every Saturday. Like you have you have like a routine. So like you're seeing this
Right.
over and over.
And that's kind of how it was. But if you're just going out here and there, you may never see these people again. You know what I mean? So just making friends off of going out once for a couple of hours, it's not that simple. Like people might try and make it seem. Little Arnett said, dudes don't have male friends. Dudes have associates. Male and female friendships may be sexual with no strings attached. Lovely. Almost everyone has a kid out here. I mean, if you're in a city which offers lots of opportunities, you're bound to meet people who are trying to make ends meet, and most will either have kids. That's interesting. Lovely said, I like to hang with women between 30 and to 40 that are professionals. I'm 33 years old. I like traveling, going to different restaurants, networking events, arts and museums, live music, bands, and shop. Oh, lovely. I wish you were in Charlotte.
Come to Houston. Come to Houston.
And I prefer bars and slash lounges over clubs. Me too. Most of the people I work with are older than me. Evita said DMV is also DMV is also a city where you can make friends because people come from all over, but it's hard to maintain friends. Okay, Evita, great point.
To maintain, it's not just making all meet all these people, take their number, take their number, take their number. Now you have to cultivate these friendships. You have to water these. You have to check up on these friends. You have to get to know where they're headed. You know what I mean? Like it's not that. I feel like of course, like we said, there's difference between associates, acquaintances, and actual friends. But also too, sometimes maybe we do use the word friend a little too loosely, and it's like we have to remember making friends is nice and it's cool, but it's also work. So you have to enter the friends that you can balance.
That's
I'm
big on that.
I'm not about starting 20 friendships. Can you maintain 20 friendships unless you're maybe unemployed? I don't know. Or you have that, or you're really
even if I'm unemployed, there's no way.
not even unless you're really extroverted, like checking up on 20 people, even if it's every week, it's a lot. So like it's not just making these friends. Like we said, a lot of these people are going to be associates and acquaintances, but actually making friends, like and maintaining the friendship, it takes something. But also too, Vita, you mentioned a good point because like I was talking last week, I believe, and I told Nana, I believe I'm a pretty low maintenance friend. Okay, and I think that's also a factor I mentioned when making friends. I can't really be friends with people who are too high maintenance, like too needy. Like some people, like I want friends. You already have your best friend. You have your person you confide in. You tell them all your problems. Not to say I can't make very close friends. I can't. I'm not really into the whole best friend thing. I'm really more into having a lot of close friends. I'm not really crazy about the term, but I do understand why it's needed at times. Just have that one person you really trust, and they like, they're the one person you know you can go to. But in terms of having all these, what was I losing? I'm losing my train of thought. What was I saying about about having close friends versus having like a best friend? The other thing about these friendships too is that you have to what was that? I can't
You
literally
talk
I
about
lost.
you talk about basically maintaining. It's not just about making a friend. It will come back to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
about maintenance.
Mm.
I don't think I do well with high maintenance friends. Like I can't have the friend who wants me to like be calling them every day. I'm not a really a phone person, but I will talk on the phone if you call me, and I can do it, and I can call people here and there. But me and my future best friend, she has to be a texter. She has to be someone who can
You
tell
don't
me
even text well.
better than I could talk. No, no, stop it, stop it. I prefer texting, but I do understand that everything could be texted and some things to be talked about.
It's weird. There's certain friends I have a relationship with that we only text. There's certain friends we only talk on the phone, and there's certain friends that we only meet up. Like it's weird. Like our mode of like keeping in contact, it just differs per friend. So I think it's about what works for you and that friend. Mr. E said, if you are the smartest amongst your group of friends, then you probably need to find a new group of friends. That's interesting. I think the easiest place to meet people to hang out with is the hair salon, nail salon, concerts. Hair salon, nail salon. Never met anyone at the hair salon and nail salon.
Concerts is too rowdy. How you mean people at concerts?
Evie said the walls are talk. Hi, Evie. The walls are talking to you. It's crazy. Literally, like this morning, I was like, "Why is it so quiet in here?" Like I'm just like, "This is weird." But then sometimes I don't want to put music and stuff on because
Yeah, I
it's
like.
rowdy. Like,
Yeah, it's distracting sometimes. Like it's a middle. Like some
right,
people.
I'm trying to work, so it's like if I have the TV on and I'm listening to them talking about like I can't focus. But sometimes it really gets too quiet. I was like, "Oh my god, I need like a child in here." Oh, never. No, I don't. But if you say you have to find a hobby or activities where you can see people consistently church,
The
fitness
sport,
group,
an interest group. Yeah.
a weekly street move, like a consistent place. You know how some guys are like, oh, I go there, I go here every Thursday. That's their spot. So they go there, they know they're gonna see their people, right? They go there to watch football. Like they have a spot that they go to in this like how you guys remember growing up, like our uncle go to Adobra. You know what I mean? Like that's their hangout spot. Like,
Every night, the new tea in the streets of New
yeah, like, we
Jersey.
used to be like, why are you always going to Adobra? But that's
But it's for
community.
community, right?
He goes there, and that's how he hangs out with his friends. It's like
Yeah,
after
that's like
work,
for people in Houston. It's like Safari. That's Safari in Houston. That's what we referring to the New Jersey spot. But
so like it could be anything like that you consistently go to. Evita said, I'm involved in my church and I see my friends every week. Oh,
yeah, we literally after church I
they
time.
do church big though, because the issue I have with down south, a lot of these churches are so big that like even if you go to them, you can't build community by just going to these churches. You have to like go out your way.
You have to be in the youth group. You have to be involved in some type of community within the church. And like literally, like you bring up church. Literally, this Sunday after church, one of my friends called me. We were outside talking for me and my two friends were outside talking for 40 minutes. I looked at my clock. I was just like, yo, we've been here for 40. I need to go. I had to go run errands after. I was so hungry. But even stuff like that, like if I didn't go to church with them, now I have to think about time to go and see them. Like it's just a lot. But legit just going to church, even sitting next to them in church, that's the we're bonding. We're laughing during the service.
But
Then
I do, but I do think that you need to also think about going to people's house too, because that's a good way to like not always have to
okay,
spend
but my thing is that
out.
I understand I do it. It's not like I don't do it, but it's not like my preferred method. Because
Yeah.
during weekend, I like to relax. I like to chill. Like I don't even want to be. I like to literally this weekend. I didn't go out Fridays. I didn't go out Thursday, Friday. So I was in my house until Sunday. I went out and I was like basically out all day. But like so, I just feel as if like if I'm inviting you to my house and I have to cook, then I'm cleaning. Like it's like, I'm not trying to invite someone to my house to be doing errands in front of them. You know what I mean? Like I also that's I said
I think during the week is good too. We don't always have to wait every
yeah, during a week is like I don't like waiting for everything for weekends. Like I don't live like that. Like I don't like using my week just work and then the weekend trying to pack a million things on top. Like it's too much.
that Evita, he said Dallas Danny said Evita church is a good place too. I think as females, we also look for girls that are very similar to us to hang with. I know for me, I don't go outside my box when it comes to females to hang with. I would absolutely come to a Houston event. Belle Noir, okay. Lovely say, yeah, I do look for females that are similar to me. I would come to a Houston event as well. So true. Friendships require an investment in time and energy. Evie said friendships are suffering almost at the same rate as relationships because people don't want to commit the work of building a bond with someone. Oh, that was deep. They're
Yeah.
suffering.
And we talked about being vulnerable, right? Or friendships suffer because it feels one-sided. And like I say all the time, Evie, like I believe friendships, you also have to put pride aside. Like I'm telling you, I have one friend because I'm traveling next weekend. I'm gonna be in her city, whatever. So I haven't heard from like in over a year, or her in over a year. And I was in her city like September, but I didn't hit her up. We went to school together, whatever. So I just texted her yesterday. I dreamt about her early last week. So I just texted her yesterday, like, yeah, I dreamed about you. How you been? When she's telling me what she's been through in the last year today. So it's like you sit here and you getting so worked up that maybe you haven't heard about somebody or that they're not checking up on you. You may feel like you're old because you're always a friend. Because one thing I can say is that I'm not perfect, I'm not God, but I reach out. I could say that one for free. I reach out. So if I lose any friend or we fall out, I know it's not just I know like I did my part. I go to sleep every night and I'm not thinking about I could have done more, I could have done better because I know I reach out.
Hmm.
Right. But like, we're no longer in the same stage. After school, people are doing different things. But then she's just telling me like all this stuff that she's going through. You know what I mean? Like personal stuff. So it's like right now, if I'm sitting here, and it's not to give people an excuse, right? But I know personally there's a part of my life where I isolated because I was going through stuff early in my 20s.
Even period these days, if I'm not in a good mood or I'm feeling down, I'm not worried about reaching out
Where
to
do I reach out to people to start telling them my problems? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to also too in friendship, also too, there's a big pride element that we have to put aside. Like you can't always count. I called you last. I text, and sometimes growing up, mother be like, "Oh, you're always calling them, or you always go to their house. They need to come to your house." And I get it. We want that equity there. We have to
like
understand.
Abby said, our friendships suffer because it feels one-sided.
That's why I'm bringing this up because it's like I know what it feels to be in friendships where I feel like I'm doing most of the work. Like legit, I'm the one always reaching out. I'm the always one saying, "Let's hang out." I'm the one always saying, "We need to. We need to talk." I'm the one always saying, "Oh, we don't. Let's do something." I know what it means. My personality too. I'm also like a big planner, and I'm just a very initiative person. I understand everyone doesn't have that personality. You know what I mean? So it's like you have
You're a planner?
continue to stop talking. You also remember everyone doesn't have that personality. Everyone's not that initiative. You know what I mean? So it's like I've learned to give people grace and understand that people are going through stuff. And I'm not excusing people because it does come to a point in life if you're close with someone, you say, you know what? I'm kind of going through this right now. Even if you don't want to talk about it, I'm a big person. I'm big on privacy and respect. I don't believe because you're my close friend, you need to tell me everything you're going through. I don't believe that. Like I don't look at it that way. Like some people get very offended. They don't know what's going on in a very close friend's life. I don't live my life like that because, like I said, I've experienced personal things and I've seen things. I know people are going through their own stuff. So, but it does take a level of maturity to say, okay, we're close, and now I'm not hearing from this person. You could reach out to their friends and be like, yo, I'm going through something. I don't really want to talk about it right now, but like I'm not like ignoring you. I'm not, being shady or weird. I'm just trying to process things and I'm here. I do think you also do because I don't want to just keep giving people excuses for acting weird, right?
Right.
Also too, you as an adult, if you are going through stuff and you need to kind of take a step back, you also to communicate that with your friends. Because you don't want no one's gonna wants to feel like they have to chase you to hear from you. You know what I mean? No one wants to feel as if like you're just being weird and you're not really responding to
Someone who always has so much going on.
yeah. That's another one too.
So, anyone in this chat, I'm curious to know for the women, do you find it easier? I personally find it easier to have male friends.
Because it's not real friendship. So we're gonna have at least a few people join in. You have to be on camera. We have to see your face. You could turn off the camera once you get on the live, but we don't want. There's just a way to control any trollers. But yeah, and then to continue your question.
And I was talking to my cousin about it once. She's like, "Yeah, because you don't have to be as vulnerable, probably."
And I even not men. Most of these men that you're friends with, they probably liked you or liked you initially.
Me?
So they're not. I'm just saying, a lot of these guys that you try and befriend, like I feel like that's me personally. Male and female friendships aren't really real relationships. They're not real friendships. So when people be like, "Oh, like I'm struggling with making female friends," but I have a lot of guy friends, and they make it seem as if they may not be part of the problem. Men are not looking at you to like check on them the way like it's different. Like they're not the expectations are not the same. So I feel as if you can't really
effort.
Yeah, like they're not looking at, oh, you just hit me up when you need a section. You know what I mean? They might be looking at it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? But a female,
Section, what's that?
when women say, oh, I prefer being friends with men, to me that's a red flag that they have poor communication skills, that they're not good friends, that they have personality issues, because you're assuming that men are easy to be friends with, which is not true. It's just that the nature of the friendship is different. So you don't have, like you mentioned, you don't have to put in as much work.
All right, Dallas
All
Dandy.
right, Alice. We see you. We thank you for that
That
super.
starter pack. Okay, no problem.
Don't
Thank
worry.
you. Stacy said to love, I love it. I like doing those same things, and I'm in Dallas. However, I'm moving to Charlotte next month. Stacy, you're moving to Charlotte from Dallas? That's so interesting. And I do
We're
see this
very similar.
a lot of people moving from Dallas to Charlotte, but then I know so many people moving from Charlotte to Dallas. That's so interesting. Nice to meet you, Stacy. Mia said, but sometimes I think it's scary if a person don't have any friends, especially if they've been in the city for a while. Like, why nobody want to be around you? I think it's more understandable someone that moved to the city versus someone who's been somewhere like maybe their whole life and they still don't have friends. Because the city thing, especially moving around the pandemic, I could say it was really challenging. It really, really was challenging, and not everyone's gonna go out their way to make friends. Dallas Day said, I love texting too. I prefer it than being on the phone
And
with
you can multitask. When I'm on the phone, like I just can't concentrate the same. Like it's a bit distracting. Like I feel like if I'm talking on the phone, it's like my mom and my man. Like those are the two major people I need to be on the phone with. Like to be on the phone with someone like on a daily, weekly basis, I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, just I have those friends though. Some of them just are just phone people. Me, yes, I think looks matter too. Whether if we want to admit it or not, if a female is really pretty or have style, etc., she may have more friends than a girl that don't stand out. Me, wow, Mia, you might be onto
That's
something.
true. It's true because, and it's also too. I know there was a big topic going on social media maybe a year or so ago about pretty privilege, right? And that may be a part of it as well. Like people want to be around pretty people, and it may not even just be about looks too. It may also be just about someone who's very like nice and like social, right? Because there is an energy, and like I say all the time, I talked about bagging friends, and I do also go off of the energy. A lot of us have to be also cognizant about the energy that we're giving off. If you talk about you want to make friends, you want to be social, and you go out and you're like this, you're frowning, like I don't want to come up to you because you're not giving off that energy as someone like I want to make friends. I want people to approach me. I'm looking for that. You're coming off. You're standoffish. So it's not even just your looks and being pretty because you could be pretty and be stank and people are not still going to want to come up to you and be around you to an extent.
It's your vibe. It's your vibe.
Overall aura. So if anyone wants to join, you could hit that StreamYard link and we can just get some people's personal perspectives. Try and make this a little bit more interactive.
Yes, yes, yes. So for them, it's gonna be they can click it or they have to copy and paste it.
I believe it should be clickable for y'all. Let me go
Let
and
us know if you can click it. Um, Let us know if you click. Lovely said it's easier to meet male friends. Females be jealous sometimes. You sound like my older sister. Dallas Dandy said, right, men and women can't be friends, but men are easier to get along with. Interesting. Men are easier to get along with.
clickable.
It's clickable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whoever wants to join in, don't be shy, y'all. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Abby said, being in a new city is a bit tough with doing solo stuff. I got tired of meeting people out and they ask, why are you outside alone? Or if I usually go out alone.
That's a big one. But eventually, if you move somewhere, right, you need time to make the friends. So it's like, how you supposed to just move somewhere and just be going out with a bunch? Like, I understand, like, for people, maybe like they mean it's not like we mentioned, some people it's not a thing for them. They just don't go out by themselves, right? But if you're like I mentioned, if you're moving to a new place, I feel like you kind of have to restructure your mindset. You have to be willing to kind of make yourself uncomfortable. That's my thing. Like if you really are trying to move somewhere new, get a new experience, you got to also be willing to do new things, right? So like if you don't have friends yet, who are you supposed to be going out with to make friends? Like for example, like a few of the friends that I'm like really close with, like not I guess like people that I like talk to like very often. I met them last year at a mixer, and I went by myself. Like how are you gonna like you're going there to meet people and network, right? Do people go to make you know what I mean? Like I get what they're coming from, but it's like eventually in the beginning you have to go out by yourself to meet people. Period, man or woman. It's not just you know what I mean. Like you have to go out by yourself to start meeting people. So I wouldn't let that bother you. You know, just keep doing what you're doing and keep building. You know, keep meeting people.
Mm.
Love, Lovey says, not that I don't meet people. People come to talk to me all the time, but it literally stays there. So you didn't go in depth and it stays there. Why? Like, do you follow up? Do you say, hey, it was nice meeting you. Do you want to hang out? Like you're saying that it stays there, but why? Make sure you guys like this video, like this video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We just have a little bit more time left, but this is a really interesting topic that we think is really important. Um,
Who wants to join in? Is it? You said it's clickable, right? The link.
they shy.
'Cause I'm on my phone and I don't have it. It's not like clickable for
It's
me.
blue. It's clickable, honey. I'm in the chat right now. If you click it, I'll join from my other account.
It was clickable. It's in the description
Not
box.
not under the account we're in now. Are you in a different account?
Yeah, I'm in a different account.
Yeah, go to the description. Go to the live chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay.
Yes, it's in the chat.
Yes, y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all
anyone
gotta
wants to
be in the
join,
chat.
go in the chat. Click that link. It will take you. You got to open it in Safari. StreamYard link. It will take you to Safari, and you can give us your experience of moving to a new city. Meeting friends, what you've been going through, how your experience has been, what is making it difficult for you. What you've learned making friends. Yes, you're in the studio and a bye. Mia Shika. Sometimes female friendships it can come with jealousy versus male and female friendships. Females can be jealous if all the guys talk to you when you go out. Attention wise. Yo, that's honestly a big one. I never really understood it, right? Because I can see, and that's why I also said I mentioned about going after certain pursuing friendships based on different things, right? I understand we're humans. Like Nana said, I was talking about the last live or the live before about jealousy and all those things. Oh, just we see. Yeah, so it's like it is a thing, right? If you're a woman that probably goes and get a lot of attention, and maybe you have a friend, who's more low key, and they don't, I can understand them starting to feel a bit uncomfortable, after a while, because nobody wants to feel like they're like the third wheel or like they're not being looked at. So I can see that, Mia, and I think it's I could definitely see that.
All right, we're about to bring to the stage someone who has like a million friends. So she's gonna tell us how to make friends in a new city. Let the people know on this live who have issues making friends. You're in the live. We can't see you, but we know who you are, so you're good. How would you recommend making friends in a new city?
Hello, am I in here?
Yes,
Yes.
we hear
Oh,
you.
hi guys.
Yes.
Oh,
Give
let
us
us
some
you
tips.
know, let us say there's someone that has a million friends. She can give us all the advice.
So you're
I'm
you're
done.
you're the best in this subject matter. How would you advise people to make friends in a new city? How have you made most of your friends?
I would say number one is definitely you have to be open to making friends, and you have to be open to trying new things. So I would say the number one thing that I did moving into a new city was use Bumble Friends.
Hmm.
Nana said it didn't work for her.
Um,
Maybe Nana has low. She doesn't have low. Doesn't have patience. So maybe she had it from one
And
day.
she moved to Charlotte, y'all. For the people moving to Charlotte, so Bumble friends. Okay.
yeah, so Bumble Friends is the number one thing, and from all the people that I've met on there, or other people that I've met that have used Bumble Friends, you have to come from the perspective that Bumble Friends is the same thing as dating online.
Hmm.
You're not gonna, it's not gonna be everybody you meet that you're gonna be friends with,
Right.
Right.
or that
Right.
is gonna be a true connection and that is
You
gonna
may,
be a long term thing.
right. You may
There's gonna
even
be
meet
some
up
that,
and it doesn't work.
exactly, you may just text a couple times and that's it. It works the same way. But that's how I met I would say the first couple of friends outside of Nana when I moved to Charlotte. Um, from that, it kind of blew up fast because what would happen is
Should be someone from someone, from someone from someone.
exactly
All you need to do is meet a few people. You good. You don't need to meet 20 people. If you meet five
right
people, that could be like 50 friends in the long run. Like, because you meet so many people through other people.
But
That's
see,
through other people
let me
exactly.
make that point, Cena. Let me ask you this, because I've noticed. We talk about our experiences previously with this. How do you feel about sharing friends?
mm,
Because you talk about meeting people through people, and I think that honesty is the easiest way because this whole sifting and trying to get to know all these people can be a lot. But at the same time, I think it also depends on the level you are in those friendships. Because like, let's say right now I have like my one. Let's say I had like a best friend, right? I don't know if I'll be comfortable with sharing my best friend with my other friends. because like that's like a hierarchy. Like that person knows a lot about me. I know a lot about them. So I feel as if like me personally, I want to keep it separate because me and that person are very close. But it's like if you're just meeting a bunch of new people at once, you guys are kind of starting off at the same playing field. So I feel like it's not a big deal. So like how do you feel about mixing? Because I'm assuming that if you're meeting people through people, those people already know some of these friends. So it's like, do you feel as if because you meet someone through a friend, now you guys always have to hang out together? Like how is that dynamic? I feel like how have you balanced that is my question.
Um, so I definitely think it gets to be a little confusing, and definitely you kind of have to, like, if you're someone that's a little bit more territorial, you kind of have to check yourself a little bit. Um, so for example, I'll give an example. So I have a friend that so I have two separate friends that I hang out with separately in different friend groups.
Mhm.
Recently, at my birthday dinner, they became friends at my birthday dinner. And
Oh.
then at my birthday dinner, they were like, "Oh, they're gonna go hang out." Well, I told them, "Well, y'all can hang out, but y'all have to invite me."
Oh,
Yes,
I
I
was
agree.
I was there. I was
Yeah,
there.
I know. I no, honestly, just people might think that it's weird, but I agree. I feel like it's weird because it's like
So,
if y'all met,
so,
continue.
so I told them like, "Yeah, y'all, I don't mind y'all hanging out, but y'all have to invite me. Like the first couple times y'all hang out, like you have to invite me. Now, if I decline the invite and y'all hang out, that's fine. I don't mind." And I
No,
think, even down the line, if you guys hang out without me, it's fine. The reason why I think it becomes dicey is because we all live in the same city.
mhm.
So it's not like, so if you don't invite me, it's almost like, in my mind, it's almost like it's kind of intentional that you did not invite me.
Because when you see this
Which,
person, you should be kind of thinking of me because you met them through me, but you're not inviting me. So it's like
right,
you intentionally not trying to have me there. Like why?
exactly. It's so like, I think I try to think about it like circumstantial, like I try to think about it based on the circumstance. Like,
Yes,
you guys are sitting at my dinner making plans. Yeah, y'all gotta invite me.
right. Mhm. Yeah, no, I
But
think that's
let's
fair.
say, let's say the both of them worked at the same company and at the same building. So one day for work, they end up going to lunch together.
Like they
Obviously,
don't need to
in
invite
that
you, right?
exactly, in that kind of circumstance, I'm not gonna expect that they invite me.
Right. I think that's fair because I can
And
see
and even in that same kind of circumstance, they now have found a connection point, so
other
I
than
can
me.
understand them
Mhm.
building a friendship
Off of
outside
that,
of me
not you.
easily.
Right, right. I think that's
Okay, so my
fair.
thing is that you never get worried, like not worried, but I think some people's concern is that okay, if let's say Ngozi's my friend, and now I met Leslie through Ngozi, and Ngozi has told me private stuff, and now me and Leslie become close. Is it now that I'm gonna be telling? I know it sounds very
You
childish,
don't
but I
want to
think
think that people are here talking about people, right? Because that shouldn't be a part of their friendship, right? But it may not
That's what I was gonna say. Right.
it shouldn't even be
That's
malicious though. That's the point I'm making. Is that it's not always necessarily malicious, like oh they send it like oh do you know Guzzy this that, but it made the fact that you say you tell people different things. So someone may naively just make a comment, assuming that the other person knows it's about you because they're your friend, but they may not know that because you told this person this and you've told this person that. Like everyone don't know the same stuff. Is the point I'm making. It depends on where you are in friendship with people. So I don't look at it like I don't look at it because I don't like to think that my friends are sitting around talking about me because I don't make those type of friends. Hopefully I don't make those type of friends. I don't make those type of people who would engage in that
I
type of
mean, if that's a concern, I think if that's a concern of yours, like, we're grown. It's very simple. You had that conversation with your friend. Like, hey, when I talk to you about things, I would appreciate if you didn't bring it up with anybody else. And that's not whether I know the person or not. That should be a period point blank kind of thing. That, like, hey, I'm a private person, and I don't really like if I tell you something and you go see someone I know, like, don't bring things that I've talked to you in confidence about up with anyone else.
that's fair. Yeah, I think
Like, I
that's
have friend groups that, like, we've had to sit down and kind of have that conversation because it's four of us, but maybe two people hang out sometimes or three people hang out sometimes. And like, one time when we were all hanging out, one friend brought up the same question of like, hey, how do we feel about if you tell me one thing, can I bring it back to the group or not?
No, no.
But at least
So
you
I
are,
mean, in our group, so in that group, we were like, hey, like, nah, like we don't mind if you bring it back to the group
because they're
because
all
I
close.
would probably tell the group anyways.
Mhm. They're all
It's not
close.
a big deal. But
Mhm.
I also said in the same breath that like if it's something that I'm talking to you about and like I'm talking to you in confidence about, yeah, don't say that to the group. And if you ever confused, ask me first.
Right. Ask questions like my aunt would say.
Right.
I think that's fair. Because you mentioned the four women, and I also think another thing we talk about friendships too. I think honestly, me and Nana talk about Nana, Nana all the time. She don't like cliques. Tina is the lady on the call, cousin on the call. She got friends, and I do think it's easier when you have groups of friends.
Right.
When everybody's
That's
like trying to
yeah.
do this one friend thing, it's a lot.
It's a lot of
Meet up with
maintenance.
this one friend. Meet up with this one friend. So I do think I want to get your take on like I think there's pros and cons to having the group of friends, but I do understand now like I used to do it in college and that didn't it has some issues or whatever, but I do understand like why people do like the groups because it definitely makes hanging out easier. I don't have to schedule 5 hangouts. All five of us can hang out together. That's done. Versus I hang out with this, I have to go hang even if it's five people, even if it's groups of three. I like threes. I
Mhm.
like three or four. That's not bad. But when it's four plus, I think that's a bit too much. Too many women. Maybe five. I don't know. But I like groups of three, four, whatever. But how do you feel? Like, do you have individual friends, or are most of your friends like in groups? That when you hang out with them, you guys do stuff. Like, how do you usually hang out with your friends?
So for me personally, my whole life, I've been like someone who is more of like a chameleon in the sense that like I can go in and out of cliques and or individuals. So um so I've always had like for example, like if you think about like high school, like oh, you have like the jocks or you have like the cheerleaders or you have like the weird kids or you have like the artistic kids. Like I would be that person that like, oh, I'm in all the cliques. Like I can go into all the cliques and talk to people and have a friend or two out of all the cliques. So like thinking more recently, it kind of is the same way. Whereas like I have some friends that like we hang out in groups, but I also have a lot of like one-off friends too.
Mhm.
Basically, you're just mixy. That's what it comes down to. Just, it's just a lot. And I feel like watching me personally, Nana, watching like Ngozi and seeing my cousin Justina that's on here and just seeing like, it inspires me. I know it might sound like, oh my God, I'm extra, but I'm not gonna lie. I could be a bit guarded with friendships. I've realized that recently and I'm trying to work on it because I'm just like, end of the day, like, okay, a friendship doesn't work out, okay. Someone
Right,
says your business, who cares? You get what I'm
right.
saying? It's
Let's
not the
talk
end of the
about the
world. It's
business
not
at
the
the end of
world. For some reason, when I moved to this new city of Charlotte, North Carolina, I just really was like, really almost like overly careful with making friends. Like really, really guard. And I realized like, wow, people talk about being emotionally unavailable just with like romantic relationships, but it could be with friendships.
all around. It's
Yeah,
all
it could be with
around.
platonic friendships as well. And it's like you do need that love and
Definitely.
vulnerability for any relationship. Forget about friendship, whether he's touching you, whether they're not touching you, any type of relationship. You
I'm,
need a level
Right.
of
I was gonna ask
vulnerability.
that. Do y'all think that female friendships are more important than intimate relationships? Like, how does it scale to? If you were doing like, if you're doing like a percentage out of like 100, like where would you rank?
I don't think it's a fair comparison because I feel like romantic relationship that's one person versus friendships is multiple. So I
Mhm.
would like to believe that like multiple friendships in general obviously are going to be probably more not important, but I don't know the word to use
More
than just
impactful?
yeah than one romantic relationship.
And I think the thing too also is that I feel like sometimes when you're dating or meeting people, it's not to be negative, but like you have in your mind like this might not work, right?
Right.
But it's like when you're making friends, like you're making friends to last for the most part a while. Like I'm not making friends thinking like, oh, I'm not going to be talking to this person in 4 months. Like I could meet a guy and a month later we don't even talk. You know what I mean? So I feel like at this, I don't want to be jaded and cynical, but at the same time, I do understand why getting older, friendships are even more important because like friends are more permanent. Not to say like I don't know how to explain it. Like
Yeah, I think friends are I think friendship is first. If you can't make friends, I don't see how you can be in a relationship with somebody, to be honest.
Mm. Wow.
Because it's a relationship. A friendship is a relationship.
It's a relationship. So like if you can't relate with people on a friend level, and the idea is that even if you're in a relationship, y'all should have a friendship, then how does that happen?
But y'all
Right.
don't ever have like y'all don't ever feel like friends like us women are like judge you, like you can't necessarily tell them like everything you want. Like you can't be completely 100% because
No, that no.
I don't
Listen,
worry. So I'll say for me personally, I don't worry about such things because I'm me. I can't worry about whether somebody likes me or doesn't like me. I'm gonna be who I am, and if you're a friend that doesn't like that, then me and you aren't gonna be friends. It's that simple.
hello.
Like you have
Okay.
your choice of friendship. It's
Right.
not by force.
Be yourself. That's like I would never
If
let you
you
gotta be
feel that's the same idea about when people be like, oh, people are jealous, then I can't have those kind of friends around me. If I know that, I can't have those kind of friends around me. Or I don't, and I also don't gravitate to those kind of people because I'm not that kind of person.
right. No, I think that's part of it. Like you say, you have making friends on commonalities. If you're someone who maybe you like to, you drink, you do all you have like to have a good time, you have fun. Like maybe you don't want to go being friends like someone who's extremely uptight is gonna make you feel a certain type of way. Maybe that doesn't need to be the type of people you go and start being trying to be friends with because you guys don't really have that, like you guys are different. And not to say relate you guys, like I said, I don't believe you need to be similar all the way around. Even in relationships, I feel like sometimes people get too stuck on commonalities. Yeah, you guys have to have some. You guys have to have some things in common, but I think it's more about that respect and understand taking people for who they are. So even if you can, it could work. You could have friends that it could even be best friends. Someone who is an out there person and someone who don't go out, but their friendship is not based on that. Their friendship is based on trust. Can they call them when they're in time of need? Can they tell them things? Do they trust them? Are they there for them? It's not about, oh, we have to be the same. We have to be doing everything together. We have to have all the same interests. That's not always the case. Or
all
we
right.
have
Right. I
to be
think
the
as we
same.
get older, you definitely have to learn how to be able to compartmentalize friendships. So,
Right.
like you just said, not every friend is going to be the friend that you go out partying with. You
Right.
may
We looking
have friends
for
that you only go out partying with.
the hoes. So not everyone's gonna be the sexy red friend. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
some are gonna be the
Not
plain
every
friend.
friend.
You know what I mean?
Okay, exactly. Not every friend is going to be your confidant. Not everyone's going to be your sister in Christ or your brother in Christ. And you
Right.
know that.
And as I said, I tell them all the time. I talk about my issues with friends, the things that I did wrong. I said I don't like to play victim. I think a big part of friendships maybe not working is people not managing expectations. I think that's a big part of friendship. Like you have to be real. This is another human being with their own issues, with their own life. You have to be realistic to an extent about what you expect from this friendship, and also like just need to talk about having those conversations and being vocal. Like if you really feel like you have a gap or you really have these expectations of this friend, let them know that. You know what I mean? Like let them like be open and
Or like
transparent.
she said, but if you're telling them something like, you know what, I'm telling you this, but I don't want to hear it from like, just make sure it's
Right.
between
Like
you.
don't make all these assumptions. My aunt always say assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Like if you really have these expectations for somebody, let them know. You know what I mean? Like don't just assume they're supposed to know this. Well, they're a friend. They're supposed to be there. No, like everyone shows up in friendship differently. That's another thing. Some people are like you said, like people are different in terms of what they're going to do for you in a friendship. It's not going to be the same for everyone.
That's true. All right. Thank you, Justina, for calling in. We have Lovely waiting, and
All
hopefully,
right.
Bye.
We'll talk later. Thank you. Let's go through these comments real quick before we get into Lovely. Just hold tight a bit. Belle Nor said, I'll be at Afro Tech. Hopefully, I run into. Is that going to be in Austin? When is that, Belle Nor? Let me know because I heard it be lit. Nigel Link, I think this is blessing. I think you attract like-minded people. If your friends are messy or drama-filled, you really have to check the friendships you're cultivating. Yep.
that's what Justina was saying.
Yep, that's a whole live in itself with jealousy and envy and female friendships, girl. It's real. Like Nana said,
I don't
sometimes.
think I've ever had that experience with jealousy. At least maybe I'm in my mind. I just don't. I hear a lot of girls screaming jealousy, and I just don't
And
see.
we don't want to sound like we're delusional. We think
I
everyone's
don't
jealous
sit
of
there
us,
and
but
think
no, no,
that
no. Even
everyone's
this year,
jealous.
if I speak, like I feel like that's a big part of it. Like a lot of women won't accept it,
Mhm.
but jealousy is a factor. Like and like you said, it's not always about how you look. Someone could be jealous of the way people love you. They could be jealous of the way you shine in a room. They could be
That's the
jealous. Yeah,
vibe.
like it's not just because you make more or you have a bigger butt or you have
This is money. I'm sure you make more money
yes.
than me. What are you jealous
Yeah,
of?
it's not always about the material and physical things people think of. Like it could just be about your vibe. Like someone could just be jealous of your aura. You know what I mean? Like
That's what Ola
that
said.
be That's why I always say that your friend gotta be very similar to y'all. Both gotta be on the same wavelength, career, looks wise. No, Mia, this is a real one. This is a real
I'm
one.
gonna admit, Mia keeps alluding to looks wise. I'm gonna admit, I'm vain. I'm like a dude. I like bad girls. Okay. I like baddies. Like,
Mhm.
I like girls who are really into themselves. I like girls who are materialistic. I like girls who
Be
dress.
realistic? That's the wrong word.
I'm joking. I like girls who dress up. I like girls who are really like put together. And it sounds so weird because I'm not a dude, but it's almost like it's
It
like
shows me the way you value yourself, and it shows me the effort you put into, like, it says something about you. It's not about you being a, like I said, that's not number one. Of
the
course,
reason why it reminds me of what Mia is saying because I feel like most likely if I was to hang around girls like that, I don't see them being jealous of me because they're even going out looking better than me.
like,
You
I'm
get what I'm
basic compared to them.
Yeah, like they're really like they so like why would you, it doesn't mean they still can't be jealous of me. Obviously, I'm not gonna act naive, but I feel like if I put myself more around those type of people, then maybe the jealousy stuff won't be as much.
Mhm. Evie said to the caller, not inviting the common denominator friend to an outing shows disloyalty. I said what I said. Yes, it's weird. Like we said, there are situations where it's not like, oh, you just have just a quick hangout or whatever. But it's like, if it's like a pattern, like you're not inviting me and y'all met through me, I'm gonna be like, something's a little strange here. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that.
Evie, let me give you an example. So you met in Guzzy, right? And I met you when I was in Houston. So now if you were to, let's say you moved to Charlotte tomorrow, would it be
That's
weird that
my sister. No, that's different. That's different. Stop it. And the women I meet in Dallas live for all their lives and said they don't have any friends. To me, that's kind of weird when they are introverts. Maybe it may be really the environment. Honestly, that's some of the reasons why I don't break my back to make friends, but it can be a lot at times. But wonder if the denominator friend don't like to do a certain activity that the other friends like to do. If the denominator friend is not invited, I don't see the issue if it's discussed prior. That's the point, Mia. They could just make it known they're doing this, even if you feel like the person won't come. Still invite them. Like, don't just leave them out because that just starts making you look weird. But I do understand there's different interests, right?
that's what Justina just said. Justina said, Mia, still invite the friend and let them decline if they don't want to do something. There are activities such events I go to because I want to hang out with my friends, not because I like the activity. Facts. I will say, anyone that knows me, I don't really care about eating because I'm a picky eater, but I will go to those things. I'm like, I need to hang out with my friends. I need to see people. I need to socialize. But it doesn't
Don't
mean
make that decision for them.
right.
Don't make that decision for them. But a lot of women are choosing their man over their friends. It's crazy.
I think females just naturally gonna give their man more chances than female give
Of
than
course, and we know that one. I wouldn't. I wouldn't expect any woman who has a man to place their friend over their man. But Doom, okay. But Dallas Dandy, the question is, do men do that? All right, because I feel like I see a trend. I don't think that men enter a relationship and lose all their friends and lose their. And I feel like men are very balanced. Like we know about psychology, men are more practical. But I've noticed that I don't feel like men meet a girl and then they don't have friends anymore, or they lose their. They know they still make that. Like they don't. I don't like women. Our natures is different. A lot of women, they just meet a man and they're so quick to make that man the center of their life.
I don't know. I don't know if I used to think that, but the older I get, I feel like I'm really meeting a lot of friends who really cherish friendship. Like even if they have a man or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Over Tech is next weekend and I'm traveling. I wanted to go this year. Oh my
The more
god.
you want to close friends, the more you have, the more backstab experience you'll get. I don't think of backstab. I just think of more energy and effort. Evie said it would be weird if I moved to Charlotte and didn't hit you up in my quest to meet new friends there. Interesting. So she's saying hitting me up wouldn't be weird. It'd be more weird if she didn't hit me. I'm just saying because
You
people,
expect me to come to Charlotte and hang with you before y'all can hang out? Like that's
and
weird.
that's why I was giving like that example. Justina said that makes sense to me. A key part is that she expressed that she doesn't want to be invited to clubs.
No, Mia, you didn't do Mia's response first before we take Lovely. Mia has said, Justina, I have a friend that don't go to clubs, and she made it clear don't invite her. And me and the other girls still go out to the club.
Be outside. Mia, come back to Charlotte. Let's be outside.
All right, Lovely. I'm gonna unmute you. Are you can go off mute. Thanks for joining. Thanks for giving us your experiences in Dallas about the struggle to make friends. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, ladies. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you so much for calling in. So I know we've been having a back and forth, so it's probably best that you did just call. You talked about, you mentioned the point about making friends, but it's not getting past that level. So I want you to go more deep into that. Like, what exactly does it not get past? Is it past like the first meetup, the first hangout? Are they not like responding to you the way that you would like them to? Like, what exactly have you been noticing?
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question, but I do want to just make this one comment and just throw this out there because this could possibly have something to do with it. I must say, in my personal experiences, or should I say past experiences, I've been traumatized by women that were my friends.
Mm,
Stabbed in the back. It's the people who were closest to me that did me the wrong, that
wow.
did me the worst. So I will say, I mean, am I really going out my way to try to like make friends with everyone since I came here? No. And to be honest with you, when I first came to Dallas, I came to Dallas with with a mindset of just focused on school, graduating, getting my stuff together, trying to find life after being in a 8-year relationship.
Wow.
So, and some other things that I was going through at the time. So like I he took majority of my 20s. So when I don't want to say it in like a bad way, but I was in a relationship for a majority of my 20s. So it's not until I really hit like 30, close to 30, where I'm learning myself again, learning my friend, learning life on my own without a man, and then to live in a new city at that, and you're away from all your friends. Because it's not that I have a problem meeting friends, it's once I moved to Dallas is when I had the problem. I travel all the time and have no problem meeting people from West Coast, East Coast, north, south.
Okay.
It really doesn't.
Okay.
For some reason, when I came to Dallas, there's difference. Because I will say, Houston, I don't get this. I don't get it in Atlanta either. I don't get it in a lot of places. But for some reason, Dallas is different. Now, I will say I've met women here that were cool. Um, I come to find out some of the coolest women that I've met were not from Dallas. However, they have, other things going on in life or whatever. So I get it. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going out my way to like really, meet friends. Either it's a lot of going to the bars, or, restaurants, sitting at the bar and, people having conversations. The next thing you know, we exchange numbers, but we never talk after that. It's the part after we meet. And I don't really know what the disconnect is or why we don't. Maybe because we were just drinking and everyone was having a good time at the moment. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. And then I must say it was one girl that I was cool with that I I would have called her my friend, but I mean, potential friend, but we really just didn't talk or hang like that. And she did have a child, so she was always, with her kid, and she worked a lot. And so, like, that's the thing.
I think she's getting a call. We can't hear you anymore, but she probably.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now. Hello. You just went out again.
Like, I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now.
You talked about the friend
Sorry
that was
about that.
talking about.
Okay. But one thing I also noticed is like, the people who I would potentially call friends, it's like they don't even have friends. They don't even care to really do anything. They don't try to get out. And that's fine. Everyone is different. But it's just like, I mean, to me, it's just like I don't feel like I can take accountability, but I don't feel like you're necessarily the problem just because you moved to a new city and you don't have friends in 3 years.
No, I get what you're saying because, like you mentioned, like it's not you don't see it's not just you. The people around you are having the same experiences, right? So it's not like you're seeing all these people with these fabulous friendships and they have the most vibrant social lives, and it's just not you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a trend. I think location is big. No matter how much people can say, like I do think there's certain environments that encourage people being more friendly, people going out, people especially as a Black person, if you're making like other
Mhm.
Black like-minded friends, there's certain like places where like it would just be easier. That's fact.
Mhm.
You can't argue that. You can't make it seem like it's the same everywhere. Like if I go to Alaska, it's gonna be the same as making friends in freaking like New York City. It's not. It's not the
Exactly.
same.
No, but I also think, Lovely, I think a point that you touched on about, I'm glad that you clarified what's happening with these friendships. That, like you said, you're just meeting these people at places. Y'all don't have any necessarily common, like, place you normally see them. You don't necessarily
Mhm.
have like a
Or like
common
one-offs.
inch. It's like one-offs, exactly. It's like you just
That's
meet
true.
someone, then oh, let's exchange them. You know, that happens all the time. That people don't even, then they go on to their normal lives. But let's say that same person you said let's exchange number, then you bump into them next Friday at the same social club you go to every Friday, right? Or you bumped into them at the same book club meeting you go to every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks. It's most likely that y'all would probably follow up from that, versus this
Right.
person that you may never see again. So I think that also makes a lot of sense too. Why, like, the follow up is an issue because it's just kind of a one off. Oh yeah, like you said, you have some drinks. Maybe you're just a little tipsy. Oh hey girl. Oh yeah, I'm a link.
Yeah.
Let's link up. Oh you mad cool. Then next thing you know, you never hear from this person.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And
No.
then can I also just say something about the friendship jealousy part?
Go
Yes.
ahead.
No, not friendship jealousy part. I'm sorry. About the friendship in the man part that you all touched on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I think they were talking about it in the comments as well. The only thing I was just gonna say is, because I know I had mentioned like women are I've noticed that there are a lot of women who when they get a man, they kind of put their man over their friends. In my personal experiences, that's what I've seen. And I don't necessarily agree with it. And I know like there's some there's some people that may feel like, well, a woman shouldn't put her friends over a man or this, that, and third. For me, it's not about like intentionally trying to put someone over someone else, but I do feel like um women need to, and I'm not saying no one is not thinking about this, but I think more women should be mindful of like if you had a good friend or a loyal friend, that's a female and she was there before that man came into the picture, you don't kick her to the curb. I'm not saying you got to always be around her all the time. I'm not saying you got to like talk to her every day or whatever, whatever. But at the same time, don't like kick her to the curb almost just to try to like be up under this man, because a lot of times women do all that, and then the minute things don't go right with you and that man, you're looking back for your friends, you're looking for those that same support system and that person that was there, before that man came into the picture. So don't kick them to the curb, because men generally speaking don't do that when they
I
when it
said
comes
it,
to
Lovely. They don't
they're not,
do it,
they're
and
not
they
doing it.
don't do it. And women and
So
men also
that's
see
not cool.
women who do it, and they make a mental note because they know when
Hmm.
you are also going to make them that priority, and you're going to go and kick everyone out or like let everyone kind of go because of them, and a lot of them take advantage of that.
Exactly. I was just about to say that you're 100% right. They take advantage of it. And to be honest with you, like most women that do that later down, you're going to regret it. Like, I'm sorry, but you're going to 9 times out of 10, like, probably regret doing that. And then you'll lose friends because a real friend is not going to want to stand around after she got kicked to the curb off some new dude that was making you feel good for the moment.
Right. And it's not
Like,
to
let's
say
be real.
And it's not to say we're being petty, right? We know if you meet a new man right now, you have to give some more time to him. I already know you, right? If you're my friend, we doing the daily talk, he, kikiing, whatever. Like I already know you. I know you're meeting a new guy. You're getting serious. I know you have to invest a certain amount of time initially to him. So I don't expect you
Yeah,
to talk to me the same exact way, right? But there's a level that women
exactly.
do it that's very extreme. It's like you go from talking to somebody every few days to like literally weeks go by, you don't hear from them. Like it's very extreme.
Exactly.
It's very like and I remember having one of my friends in college said it. She made the biggest mistake. She met a new guy. She stopped talking to all her friends, and then when the guy broke up that summer, when they broke up, she had no friends and no social life.
Yeah.
She would never do it again. Like she
Yeah.
made a conscious effort going forward. When she meet a guy, she still keeps her friends intact because she even felt
Hmm.
guilty trying to go back to those friends who she realized she kind of like let go because of this guy. And then when they broke up, she had no friends to do anything all summer with because all her friends were like,
Exactly.
okay, bye. Like, and she even felt weird trying to approach them because she knew she kind of did them wrong. So I do believe balance is key. I understand getting older,
Yes.
we've learned more, where we should be a little bit more experienced and more knowledgeable, but you still see a lot of women make this mistake of just like meeting a guy or getting a relationship and kind of like just forgetting themselves overall and making that man like just a priority. And like we pray it works, but if it don't work, then what? Like
Exactly.
friends, you
That's
starting
my
from
opinion.
ground zero. But we appreciate you being vulnerable with us. I think that is a factor too. You mentioned I had some bad friend experiences after college, so I know what it means like to feel like like your friends kind of weren't really there for you. And I do think that after that, it kind of made me not really like. I took a break from friends, to be honest. Like I wasn't looking into it because it's like it can be a lot. It could be very very overwhelming. But I do think it's important to realize everyone's not the same, and also doing a root cause analysis about like the why, right? Because when I looked at those patterns, I could kind of looking back, I kind of can see where those friends are being a little shady, and like I kind of could tell like they never really liked me. Like when I don't know if when they had like that popular saying going around of how I knew when they talk about like women were talking about the exes, when I knew he hated me or when I knew he didn't, like how I knew, like kind of like you kind of knew this person wasn't really for you, but like you just are so into like it or into the friendship, like, oh no, that's my friend. You keep giving them excuses. You keep giving them excuses for poor behavior because it's your friend. You love them, but it's like when you really take all the emotions away, you're like, is this how someone who cares about me should be treating me? Man or woman? You know what I mean? Like, is this acceptable behavior? Because it usually doesn't come out of nowhere. It's usually like a buildup of events when people are kind of being shady and weird, and then like it just explodes at a certain point when it becomes too much. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say if you
And
want to Houston, if you want to come to Houston, if you can, I'm
Or
here.
or, or Charlotte.
Nah, she's based in Houston
I
too.
would like to I would definitely like to visit Charlotte because I'm starting to hear more about Charlotte. I would definitely visit. And Houston, I go often. I do have friends there, so I like Houston. And I definitely get a different experience from Houston. So I definitely think like location, all that is different.
No, for sure. You can't take location out of it.
And
Like,
you moved during the pandemic. 3 years ago is like around when I moved. You moved when like
Uh,
things were a bit weird. It wasn't like now. Things were closed. So if you got used to kind of being isolated and got used to just being on your own, it makes it even harder now to go out of your way because you just got used to living like a kind of isolated type of life. And you work from home, fully remote. Come on. So,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was really listening to the one caller that came in when she was talking about like different websites and like just stuff that you can like do to meet people. I guess Bumble friends. I didn't think about that, but I will say I limit myself when it comes to the online experience, whether it's friends, dating. I guess it's just so many weird things that I hear that I'm
me
kind of a little
too.
more
Me too.
close-minded with that.
Me too. I'm scared, especially the
Person,
dating
when
bubble.
it comes to that, I'm a little close-minded.
me too. You're
No.
not alone. But thank you so much for calling
Thank
in. And
you for
hopefully we'll see
calling.
you next
Thank
Monday.
you. Thank you, ladies. Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Can't believe we already done an hour and a half. We're gonna go through these comments real quick and close up. But blessing, yes, blessing. No one is jealous. So unless they're Beyonce, there's no reason to be jealous. Yeah, because you're confident in who you are in Christ. But when you be dealing with people who are not confident in who they are,
Find it hard. A lot of people, like even my older stuff, like, yeah, these girls be jealous, and I'm just always like, jealous. I never sit down and think that someone is jealous of
and
me.
that's what I'm telling you, it comes to a point when
Like,
I'm
here's
so
the
naive
thing,
about it. But like I told Nana, like the experiences I've had, like I had to really sit down and be like, there's nothing else that's attributed to it. Like this is it. And I'm to the point that jealousy will be the last thing I'll put on my list because I'm not those type of people who think everyone is jealous of you. Everybody wants your life. Everybody wants your man. I don't think like that. But sometimes it is jealousy. Trust me. Mia said, I'll be there this summer. I'll request you on Facebook. If you're there, we could turn up while I'm in the city. Where Bella nor nah, I feel like I should just send Justina a care package out there. Justina said, that's not me anymore. I love you on the line now, but I'll take that package. LOL. That's so true. Being in Boston has tampered down my natural desire to socialize. Oh, and that weather. Let's talk about weather. I told you how I was at the pool on Saturday. I literally had my outfit. I sent it to one of my friends. They're like, wait, you're dressed like that right now? Like what I wore yesterday out, like legit, like it was 90 degrees. Like weather is a big one for me. Like if it's cold, I don't want to see people. I don't want to leave my place. Like I'm not in that socializing, bubbly mood when it's snow outside. In Boston is crazy, but Bellinor, I still can't believe Afrotech is that week. That's the men's be there. That's where the men's is at. Like I heard Afrotech last year was crazy. In Austin,
Whatever.
I've been wanting to visit Austin this whole year. That would have been a perfect time. Afrotech, an actual event. I'm gonna see how I can maneuver it, but
You trying to do a lot next week all in one. I agree. Men don't do that at all. Yeah, she talked about men not isolating, like not forgetting about their friends when they get in a relationship. When I lived in Charlotte, it was so easy to meet people to hang with. I went to clubs, bars, game nights, etc. by myself. Oh, Mia, come back! But I wasn't looking for deep level friendships either. You're just trying to have fun.
you said Charlotte. Evie said, I want more married friend. No, that's honestly, it's a big one, right? Because
Interesting.
you tap it into the anointing, right? A lot of times people don't realize like, you
Yeah.
want your friends to that you know you're gonna be in the club, you know what I mean? You go there is a different life that a single or like someone who's not married yet is able to live, right? But at the same time, when you see things on the other side, it's also a networking thing, right? If you have married friends, maybe they have more serious they have a husband and maybe his friends got men's, you know what I mean? And their men's some of the men's could be serious.
Go text my married friend right now.
Right. So it's like also too, like there's like a mature level to it of the friendship as well. So I definitely see where you're coming from. And I wouldn't mind having married friends. Like I think that would be great. I think that would be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like even like I said, I'm not against having friends with kids, but I just know the dynamic is a bit different. And like I mentioned, for the average person that has kids, I'm not really a house person. So I feel like the friendship would kind of have to be more like you going to them. Because
Definitely.
it's like for me to
Respect the
expect
child
someone to
first.
just roll up with all of their kids and be coming out to see me, like it's not realistic. It's not like they can't move as freely as I can. No, I just live life.
Everyone can tell, right? I'm the reserved, calm one. I'm the reserved one. Mia said, "Is y'all Facebook name the same as all you?" I'm not on Facebook, but you can find me on Instagram with my name Nana.14 at
I mean,
Instagram.
does he see wild for on Instagram? Yeah, especially the single activities. Don't I feel like it comes to a point it's even too much. Like the single mix. Some of that stuff. It just to me could come off like I don't know. Not as I don't want to use the word desperate, but just too much like my identity is not just on being single, right? Like there's so many other things like we're talking about. Like I don't know. I get what you're saying.
So
Like
leave the singles club. Who's forcing you? Y'all want to stay there?
oh, am I gonna find me an Igbo man? Ha, Belnor, where are you from? Where are you from? Poop, where are you from? You're gonna find your Igbo man. Just be careful, though. You saw, yo, we're gonna react to that meme. Did y'all saw that thing that went viral about the African American woman saying once she left America, man, she can't go back. That she loved Nigerian man. That and they blasted her. It was so hilarious. We were on it.
She's like, the Nigerian girl late telling me to be careful. But why y'all still messing with y'all
Why
man?
y'all still with y'all mans? If they doing all this stuff, why haven't y'all left them? It was so hilarious. But like we want to start responding to stuff. Just trying to do different stuff. You know what I mean? Like popular, like stuff kind of related to what we talk about, like popular stuff on social media. But she's a very beautiful woman. It was very interesting, like very funny. But like people went, it went viral, like on all the Nigerian vlogs. You know, these Nigerian men, their head is getting big now because all these girls, you know, they good on paper. That's what I was saying. But we're gonna keep it there.
Send me that meme. Haha. I have a friend who has a guy friend slash friends with benefits who I've been okay with until I have a friend who has a guy friend slash friends with benefits who I have been okay with until a particular situation. Generally, as my close friend, we vent to each other about work, relationships, etc. Okay, that's cool. All right, y'all. An hour 36 minutes.
So much. It's been long. I gotta eat dinner. Oh my gosh, it's been a real one. But thank you guys so much for joining. We'll be back, yes, next Monday with a new topic. Let us know if there's anything you want to discuss in the comment section. Like we mentioned, we may start reacting to like popular things on social media, like videos and clips, just to make it a little more fun and interactive. We don't want to be here just talking for like an hour because you know we like to talk. But make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it, and let's continue the conversation down below in the comments about making friends in as an adult. All right. Let us know how you feel about this, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you so
Okay, she said I'm
much.
Haitian. We have a lot of cultural similarities. Yeah, the Haitian girl, they love a Nigerian man. But yeah, we'll see you all next time. Bye.